Okay, so we're back once again. After that video I just I just had, so I have another one. Okay, so the Muslims obviously win these territories, and they're done with the Byzantine Empire at the time. Again, they got 1.5 million gold, the four colonies, and Romanus' daughter. And then Romanus is coming back to the Byzantine Empire, defeated, but also knows that he has to fight a whole war versus the Gas Constantine X's brother. And yeah, he is looking slow for him. Now, on the other side of the world, well, not up the world, but over here, right near the Holy Roman Empire, right, the Pope Urban II is his name. He's like, yeah, listen, I don't like the way this is going for us, the Pope, and how we're being viewed by the Holy Roman Empire and France and stuff, because the HRE was going through a whole, like, I guess, renaissance, you could say, where they're trying to have a separation of like church and state, and all this stuff, and kind of just move away from the like authority of the Pope, right? But because of Constantine X passing, leaving his wife in charge, then leads to the then leads to Romanos being in charge, fighting the Seljuks, and losing the Seljuks take control of, again, Antoch, and it was a resounding defeat. The Byzantine Empire is at odds. He's Pope Urban II. He's just like, hey, listen, I could, you know what? These Muslims have gotten out of control, and they are in control of the Holy Land, Jerusalem, our Holy Land, which is our right. So I I'm having a call for a crusade to liberate Jerusalem from the hand of the savages. Which is funny because in history, they always call the Muslims, like, because obviously the Europeans are gonna write their own history. Obviously, they're gonna be like, yeah, those savage Muslims, like, they'll like eat your dog, which in reality, the Europeans actually will eat your dog, because when rations were low, they would eat anything, like horses, dogs, so it didn't matter. So Pope Urban II is like, yeah, listen, Byzantine Empire, you guys are over here getting smoked by the Seljuks. What's wrong with y'all? I'm calling for a crusade of all the Europeans that follow Christianity, and Catholicism, to come and join in this holy war, right? And the promise for them, right? Which ironically you can see, in a lot of like jihadist military groups, is like, listen, the promise from Pope Urban II was that every man, every knight that picks up a sword and goes and join this holy war to free Jerusalem, right? Your name will be etched in stone. You will be guaranteed a paradise, heaven, and you'll live in infamy forever, right? So Pope Urban, he's out of ideas, because, like, if this doesn't work for him, the HRE is gonna probably change the way the world works. Like, the Pope isn't gonna be as important as he is today, for the view of it, right? So this is like a Hail Mary, like, bro, like, I need this to work, because they about to get me out of here for real. So Pope Urban II does that. It works. Folks are like, you know what? He's right. I can't believe these Muslims have control over Jerusalem. It should be our land. How dare they, right? So everyone gathers together. The Pope Urban calls for the freaking First Crusade, and the First Crusade happened, which is one of the like bloodiest times in medieval history. Because, again, like, calling the Muslim savages is funny when literally, when the Christians get in charge, or when the Christians start going and pillaging stuff, right? They don't just like kill the soldiers, right? They go there and kill the soldiers. They kill every man, woman, and child. They're burning down trees, destroying buildings. Like, folks are getting just like raped and stuff. It's crazy, right? And again, they're at war with the Seljuks, and also the Fatimids. But the thing is, right? And one of again, I'll give some credit where it's due. Right? It wasn't really a surprise attack, but it kind of was a surprise attack, because, like, imagine, right? You're the Fatimids and the Seljuks, which, I mean, they're not together at all, because had they been together, I don't think this happens the way it does. That's a totally different story for a different day. But imagine, right, you're subjects, right? You're not even trying to fight the like Eastern Roman Empire, which is Byzantine, or them at all. You're trying to just like unify and try to get control over the Cairo, and the Fatimids, right? So imagine this is happening, and then some dude over here is like, "Yo, listen, you, I need y'all to join together, right? All your forces together, right? Make an army, and then go and march through the Byzantine Empire and take control and start fighting the Seljuks and Fatimids, and then get control over Jerusalem." So like you don't really know that these people are gonna come and just like try and get you out of here, right? But they do, and the Crusades start. It was like 1098. The Crusades. It was like actually it might have been earlier than that. Anyway, the Crusades start, and they get to march in. And the most important thing that happens, right, is right here in Antioch. So Muslims, obviously, as I mentioned earlier in the previous video, they have control over Antioch. And this is like one of the heavily defended, um, I guess, ports and stuff that you would have here. Is the barrier because it's like there's this giant mountain here which is used for a defense. The back is to the sea. A bunch of stuff like it's a very good defensive holding place you could have. And eventually the Crusades will get to here, and they'll be having this giant fight, like back and forth, a siege that goes on forever. And at this point, right, eventually, the the Crusaders will get into the fort. Some say it was this family, in the barony of Antioch, which they kind of sold out the subjects for like, hey, listen, they're promising us like freedom or something like that. Anyway, they eventually the Crusaders get inside, they take control of Antioch, right? But this is kind of like the end of the Crusaders because like it's looking bad for them. They're at a point now where we're out of supplies, we're out of food and water. The Seljuks had burnt all the grass and crops that were nearby, so there's no food that they can salvage or save from. Because again, this is a dry land, so the Celtics are like, yeah, we're gonna, no, you're not getting any of this, right? And the Celtics had sent this like giant relief force. It was like maybe like 10, 12,000 men, to come and recapture Antioch, and then had the Muslims won this fight here, right? So this fight is, I forget which battle it was, but basically it was like the besieging of Antioch. And they're like, listen, 12,000 soldiers come, they take care of Antioch, and that's the Muslims win this battle here. They reclaim Antioch. The 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 freaking Europeans are like, we're kind of done with this whole crusade thing because it's not like, I mean, I don't know if we're gonna actually do it, actually pull it off. So the Muslims have to just win this battle here, and it might have been like 1,000 Crusaders left at that point at most. So the Muslims have them heavily outnumbered, right? But someone had like a vision of, there was a spear of, I want to say, I forget who the spear would be. It was some like a vision he had of a spear of this important. It might have been like some important religious figure in the past, and it was like underneath Antioch, and um, who knows if that was actually what happened. This is just what was reported. And they found the spear underneath Antioch after digging. Maybe maybe the dude planted it. Who knows? But they allegedly found this spear here. Maybe the Holy Court said, we're gonna put the spear here. And so they found the spear, and the spear that they found, even though they were tired, hungry, no water, dehydrated. The thousand or so Crusaders of Antioch, they went outside of, because normally, I mean, again, this is a very heavily defensive structure. You can defend it from basically all sides. Um, they crushed out at the Muslims with force. Like it was 1,000 of them versus at least 12,000 Muslims, and they beat the Muslims so bad. They had this like, one of the historians said like it was just pure blood rage in their eyes because they had felt like after finding this holy spear, their cause was justified, and because of that, it was it was meant to be. Like the Crusades were meant to be, and it was our destiny to come take control over Jerusalem. And so they beat them. They beat the Muslims, send them back attacking. Then supplies come in from the Byzantine Empire and just the Romans as a whole. They give the supplies, much needed a relief. It gives them supplies, more men, and then obviously they would go and it would go and go after Jerusalem, which is right here. And the Jerusalem, what happened in Jerusalem is crazy. Like they had siege equipment, siege towers, took control over Jerusalem, went inside, slaughtered every man, woman, and child that they came in sight, levelled up the holy city, and that was it. The Crusaders had won. They had marched marched through the Seljuk territory into the Fatimid territory and take control over Jerusalem, and that was the end of the First Crusades. The Knights returned back to Europe as these like legendary heroes and reavers and acclaimed knights because you had just done the impossible for basically the Khalifa of your religion of the Pope. Where he said, "You guys come here, guaranteed like if this is your jihad, you're guaranteed paradise, acclaim, and all that was true." And so they had won the First Crusade, and eventually there was at least four Crusades. The Crusades is funny because I mean I won't cover all of them because some of them were just uneventful. Like the Fourth Crusade didn't even really happen. Like it's called that, but it didn't really happen. Like the Europeans kind of like off themselves, which is funny because when you like go through history, right? I mean, this is why, like, as a tangent side note, uh, racism is so funny because no one hates Europeans more than other Europeans. The Europeans have been at war with each other for literally thousands of years. Like they can't stand each other. so, so for them to put this aside, right? Like to put all this aside, because like again, the English will fight the French will fight Hungary, Poland. Like these fools will be at odds forever, right? Scotland's like, but they could put that all aside, and then go and fight the Muslims or go and colonize Africa. Like this is how you know racism is so hilarious. But yeah, so that basically covers the First Crusades. Again, it's very short, but that's the whole point. So I will do a video on the Second Crusades, which the Muslims won resoundingly. Which I mean, technically they kind of won two, three, and four, and two, three might have been a draw, but anyway, overall the Muslims are like at least 2-1, maybe two 1-1 for Crusades. So shout out to us, all right? They don't really lose battles. Assalamu alaikum.